Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 80, and this week we're going to talk about Van Halen, the Sammy Hagar years. But, of course, we've got shit to say before we get to that. And I'm going to start it out. By the time you see this episode, this picture will have been out for about a week and a half. But yesterday or today, a picture of Ace surfaced at, I don't even remember what it was, but Ace has lost at least 100 pounds.
A person?
Yes, that's the equivalent of a small person.
So has he fell off the wagon? Like, is he not drinking anymore?
He fell off a chuck wagon.
Oh.
Now I said this in 2016. That,
That's what
well, I said in 2016 that when Paul and Ace did their little, the covers recording,
Fire and Water,
and they worked on Fire and Water together. I said that in 2017 that there was likely going to be a reunion with Ace and Kiss, and that was incorrect. So now Ace has lost quite a bit of weight, and he's doing some collaboration with Uncle Gene. So yep. I'm going to stoke the flames again and say that there's going to be a 2018 Ace Return reunion, whatever. So you heard it here first, and if I'm wrong, wouldn't be the first time.
Who cares?
Yeah. I'd actually like to see that, though, honestly. Of course, Gene mentioned I wrote two songs with Ace.
The same songs they've been playing.
Ace is, but there again, Ace.
But it's going to be Ace. Come on.
It's going to be Ace. You know what?
Don't forget, we got to bring Peter back.
But then, at that point, 2018, last hurrah, and then fucking quit.
Yeah, I believe that when I see it. You know, if you're still putting asses in the seats, we've had this discussion before.
Why quit?
If they are still pulling in big numbers, they're going to keep doing it.
Def Leppard, Poison, and Tesla in Indianapolis on Sunday night. 27,000 people.
But every one of those singers and those front men on them bands sound like they did before.
No, they don't.
Well, they sound pretty damn close.
Elliott does not sound like they did, and neither does help me.
Tesla dude.
No.
He's good.
Brett Michaels. Neither does Brett Michaels. They don't sound the same. They're all down a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, it's not that. It's people are clamoring for that stuff because
I know
pop music or whatever right now sucks like donkey balls. So
no, it does.
It's not. They're wanting something, so we'll take it.
Yeah.
But
no.
Okay. On another Kiss note, Noah listened to the Revenge, our review of the Revenge, and wants to know what the hell Dennis's problem is with not liking that album.
I didn't say I didn't like the whole album. It's just some of the songs I don't care for. Sorry.
Well, he thinks you're wrong.
No, I don't like Domino. Domino is the worst song.
The acorn is not far from the tree, man.
I know. Hey, it has one of my favorite Gene songs on that album.
Well, yeah, there you go.
So there you go.
It's a great song.
Just what it is. There's some other good songs on there. Tell your son to just take a chill pill. It's okay.
Okay, well, now that we're done talking about Kiss, what do you got, Bill?
I read earlier today that Jack Russell's Great White is going to go out on a tour this fall and promote the 30th anniversary of Once Bitten. And they're coming to Terre Haute, and I can't go. And they're coming to Cincinnati, and I can't go. And they're coming to somewhere in Indiana that I couldn't.
Let me guess. You can't go.
Good one. I can't go. So I give up.
It's not in the cards.
Yeah. It's not in the cards, man. That's why Jack won't get on the show.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't say that's it.
But yeah, I can't make it again. So that's 3 shows that are like right in the area, and I got nothing. So
if you ever come to Evansville, I'd go see him. I'm not gonna try it.
Yeah, whatever. Not gonna work. So there we go. Moving on. I did see another cool Kiss thing though. Back to the Kiss thing. They showed a I saw on YouTube that Brave Words had put up a video, time lapse video of them setting up the Kiss stage in Munich,
I
Germany.
saw that,
think
and I
cool.
thought
I think
about
that
you.
they're cool.
I thought about you
love
because Bill's like
watching
going,
videos.
I'd like to just sit there all day and watch this shit.
I would love to go to a venue and just sit in the stands and watch them put that together. That would be freaking awesome.
Because it was like 1:42 or something on that video. What I was interested in, the fact of how many times did they put that video screen up and down? Did you notice that they put it up, then they put it down, they put it up. Oh, we forgot something, put it down. And then at the very end, they had built the stage
on the opposite end and
rolled it in, and then rolled it in. That was kind of cool. Yeah, I seen that same video. I thought that was good. But I thought of Bill. I was like Bill's like going,
man, I'd love to do that. That's one of my dream things. That'd be cool.
But it's better to watch it over 1.5 minutes than to watch it for 10 hours.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I don't think it takes 10 hours though, does it?
And
It takes
I
a
bet
while.
It takes a while, but I can't.
It depends.
It
really,
all
it depends on. It depends
I'd say
on how much
probably
stuff they've got.
I'd say at least 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah, I would think so. I'd do that.
A lot of shit you got to build. I mean, it's a lot of shit.
I think it'd be cool. All right. So Dennis, what do you got?
All right. So what I got is,
by the way, did you notice I have my.
There you go. I got my Ramones on tonight.
I got my Johnny Cash shirt on.
Hey, interesting thing about the Ramones, I bought my first Ramones CD the other day.
Really?
Cool. Ramones anthology for 10 cents at a yard sale. And
10 cents.
Did you ask for change?
I'm pretty sure I paid. I think I paid 10 cents too much. Because
I'll give you 20 for it.
I've listened to like 6 songs on it. And I'm like, this is just freaking garbage.
You listen to 6 songs, you only heard 3 minutes of the CD.
That's all I can handle.
I tell you what, I'll give you. I'm
gonna just turn and run into a telephone pole.
Tell you what, next time I see you, bring that with you. I'll give you a quarter. You're gonna time and a half your money. I'll just take it out of your hands. So there you go.
It's the anthology CD.
I got that actually too, but I'll get another copy. So
flip me a quarter for it, man. I got you covered.
All right. So anyway, I'm a happy dude because of Bill's shirt. You know, I mentioned here a couple of episodes ago that, you know, please food, put out some new, you know, recordings. You know, we need some stuff. Well, they put out a recording.
Wait. You said a couple of episodes ago? That's like every episode.
No, but there were a couple episodes. I made the comment. I said, please, Foo Fighters, we need some. Well, they must have heard me. No, but they didn't. So anyway, they have been actually, when they said that they were going to take a little bit of a break and not do anything for a while, they were basically just pulling our leg. And they've been, for the last 6 months, putting together this new album that's Concrete and Gold, I believe is the name of it, or Golden Concrete. They did put out a song here the other day. It's called Run. It's where they're showing the old folks home. It's kind of, and I wasn't big on the first song that was off their Wasted Light either. And then the album came out, and then I was really into it. Because Kelly even reminded me that she says, "Don't go off that first song," you know. And it's not the first song on the album. It's like 2 or 3 into the album. I've seen the actual cut of the songs.
Well, that's a good thing. My theory about the first song sucks. I'm done.
It's not the first.
I'll get past the first one maybe.
And he always has one of those songs like "White Limo." Was an early release off that album, and it was like, you know, it's got that kind of screaming kind of shit, which I don't care much for. But anyway, of course, then they announced that they're going to do a new North American tour starting in, September, October ish. So then they had, if you bought the album, pre-order the album in any sort, you could either get basically just a MP3, or you could buy the CD, you could buy the album, you could buy a package deal, whatever. But if you did this, you could get first chance at tickets to whatever place. So Rupp Arena was my closest one. It's a Saturday night show in Lexington, Kentucky. So I bought the album. Actually, I bought the CD, and I was in the first group that get first chance for tickets. And they were on sale at 8:00 Tuesday morning. So I was online. I won't say where I was at the time because I'll get in trouble for that, but I was online.
Yeah, nobody could figure it out. They went on sale on Tuesday morning
So anyway,
And-
I was online, and what it was is after you bought that, you got a specific individual password. It wasn't like one of these ones like says like food show or whatever it was. It was like AEEXV 99974 whatever it was. So we did that. I did that and got online, and at 8 o'clock or at 7:58, I started putting in was can't do it, can't do it. Yeah, now we can get tickets. Boom, and I went for any ticket in the lower section, and it spun, and it went no tickets available, sold out. So I went through. So I got tickets for myself and Kelly and Bill and Lisa, and we were sitting in the upper section at Rupp Arena on side stage, 232. I think it's a section row in, which it goes to double K, so we're not too bad. There are bleacher seats at $115 a piece. Now, I went later on in the day and tried to even put in for one ticket on using that code, and there was nothing available. I mean, it was actually sold out. Now, there's a second round, plus it goes to general public. So I don't know if they went all for sale at that one point or one have you at that point, but it was sold out for that deal. And it pisses me off because, there again, when food went out last year, they had that beat the bot bullshit where if you went to the stood at the box office, you could get tickets before they went to the bots. And I bought those tickets online, the ground tickets up at Indianapolis, but a buddy of mine went to Nashville, got me tickets down there by standing in line like we used to have to do back in the old days. You go to Ticketmaster location and you'd stand in line, and whenever tickets come out, that's when you bought them, not just some computer that burnt the internet up. So anyway, but then again, I went that afternoon on StubHub, and there's a multitude of tickets on StubHub. If you want to pay, the closest thing I could find, I paid $115 a piece. The lowest one I could find was $185, up to $1,000 a ticket. Just take your pick. So.
Well, I would think the foos are doing a great job of keeping bots from getting the tickets.
Trying to. They are trying to. I mean,
No, they're not. They're not trying to, dude. They're getting money. They don't give a shit.
They did originally because they made.
They don't give a shit. I'm telling you, they don't give a shit.
Now they made me buy
tomorrow.
They made me buy a fucking album, and now I'm in the fucking.
That's exactly right. They made you buy an album, which put money in their pocket, and now they got you to buy. I know that, but now but you could have bought the MP3 for $5.99. Instead, you bought you bought it for $20 or whatever, and then they bent you over for $115.
No, I don't disagree with you. I'm pissed off.
So tomorrow you're gonna be really pissed off because tomorrow
find out.
I'm gonna text you tomorrow when I buy tickets tomorrow on the public sale that are better than the seats you bought for $115. Actually, what I'll do is I'll keep those seats. I'll sit in those. And I'll wave at you.
No, you get good seats. We're gonna have to sell these, but we got to agree when we sell these, we get whatever we get out of them, and then because you paid for, you're gonna be paying for two of those son of a bitches.
I'm paying for two of them. I'm gonna buy my own two now. No, just kidding. No, I'm teasing you, dude. Relax. I am gonna try to get some. I'm gonna try to get some.
If you can get better tickets, you get them, and we'll put them on StubHub, and we'll charge like 4 times as much.
$1 billion.
Yeah, it's like 10,000 bucks. Anyway,
whatever.
But anyway, I'm glad to see the foos out. We're gonna see them. Kelly and I both we got over the fact of being shafted, but like we both said, we're at least we're gonna go see them once. They're gonna be in Nashville.
Say you shafted Kelly because I don't believe that happened.
Because actually, they're in Lexington on Saturday, and they are at Bridgestone in Nashville on Monday. I actually went to StubHub. I can get 2 tickets, lower section tickets for $135 a piece. And I told her, I said, if you want to go see the show 3 days later, we can go, or 2 days later, we go Monday. And she's like, we're still on the fence. We're still maybe going to go. We went 3 times last year, our last tour. We were all over the place seeing them. So we went to Nashville, Memphis, and Indianapolis. We're food lovers. So anyway, that's where it goes.
Well, how about we get To the topic at hand.
Van Hagar. That's what we need to talk about.
Van Hagar.
Let's go.
Well, obviously, Dennis isn't as happy about Van Halen, Sammy era as Alan is.
Right. Well, but you know what I did though? I put my hate up on my shelf for this whole show and actually give him a listen to. And I actually do have a little bit more appreciation for the albums.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it here in a little bit. So I'm not a hater.
All right. Well, we'll start out with 51, 5150. We'll start out with 5150, which was released on March 24th, 1986.
Okay.
It was produced by Mick Jones, Don Landy, Eddie Van Halen, and Van Halen. It was recorded at 5150 Studios in Studio City, California, which is Eddie's personal studio, I believe. The album is 43 minutes and 14 seconds. The label is Warner Brothers. And the track listing is Good Enough, Why Can't This Be Love, Get Up, Dreams, Summer Nights, Best of Both Worlds, Love Walks In, 5150, and Inside. And of those 9 songs, 8 were released as singles or B-sides. The only one that didn't get released was 5150. And for me personally, this is my number one Sammy era Van Halen album.
Okay.
I will agree.
Yeah. Well, I think it probably had the strongest songwriting because, it was a fresh breath air for Eddie. And it was something new for Sammy to do.
I thought this thing, listen to all 5 of these albums, 4 of these albums, I guess. So I've listened to 9 Van Halen albums and realized over 9 Van Halen albums, I'm not that big of a Van Halen fan. I'm a fan of the singles, but I'm not a fan of the stuff that's not really a single. So I would say I'm not truly a Van Halen fan, but it obviously helped. This album is a good album because they did release 8 of the 9 or 9 of the 10 or whatever it was.
It was 8 of
them. And that did make a difference because I pretty much I like most of the stuff on here. This album is pretty good, actually.
Well, one thing that I want to, from my perspective, I know, especially, Dennis is a guitar player. He likes the David era Van Halen songs. A lot of my guitar friends do like the David era Van Halen better. I think, it probably started before 1984, but Eddie wanted to take Van Halen in more of a pop-oriented direction, and what better way to take Van Halen into a pop-oriented direction with a new singer than to have Mick Jones, who is, the guitar player, primary songwriter for Foreigner, which is the biggest pop rock band on the planet.
Right. I agree.
So,
I agree.
And in that honor, I was listening to Foreigner 4 right before we got on the show.
So how does anybody know Kevin Bacon here? These 6 degrees of separation.
There you go.
I had bacon last weekend for
I had bacon on my salad a while ago.
All right.
So what are your thoughts, man?
Okay, so anyway, this album was actually, if you look at it, 43 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a third longer than any other Van Halen album ever made.
They broke the mold. Now, like I said, I've never been a big Van Hagar fan, though, like being said, I'm a huge Sammy Hagar fan, and I'm a huge Van Halen fan. To me, Van Hagar was oil and water. I just never quite got it. I think that Van Halen itself got lost, and I think that they made Sammy a little poppier than what Sammy was. I mean, even though Sammy had, Can't Drive 55 and all that stuff like that, Sammy was, I think, more of a rocker before he got into Van Halen, and they kind of mellowed him out a little bit too. So that's where it kind of gets me, kind of grinds my gear a little bit. Now, that being said, this album, like you said, this is one that I can listen to from start to finish. There's no skipping in between this album. I mean, hell, every freaking song was a hit on this album to me. There again, this to me was a continuation from 1984. A lot of the songs sound very similar and could be on 1984, but just not Dave singing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Musically wise, the way they constructed it, there was some keyboards and there were some, but there again, adding Sammy to the mix gave Eddie more headroom to play more keyboard, because Sammy, not only being a regular a rhythm guitar player, Sammy is actually a very good lead guitar player too. He's not no Eddie Van Halen, ha ha ha, but he is, in his own right. Sammy can play some hellicious
fantastic
shit.
Guitar player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there again, I think that Eddie was more relaxed in that situation where he could put a little bit more keyboards, because Eddie there again was a keyboard player before he was a piano player, before he was a guitar player. So that gave him a chance to kind of go on that. Sammy kind of went on that end of it. And I think it was like I said, it was a good mix. This album here was the pinnacle of the Van Hagar albums that we're going to talk about tonight. I think it's just, we're going to talk about a downward spiral at some point. But this here was what a hell of a follow-up album. I mean, by getting rid of David Lee Roth, getting a new singer, and coming out, and this album here, like you said.
Well, now, did they get rid of David Lee Roth, or did David Lee Roth quit?
Well, David Lee Roth quit, supposedly. It's who you ask at that point.
Right.
But there again, every one of these songs are played on the radio, except for, like I said, 5150. I mean, I've heard every one of these on the radio at some point. So, I mean, how bad can it be?
Yeah.
So there again, my hate for Van Halen is on the shelf tonight, or Van Hagar. So anyway, that's what I think.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we've got OU 812, released on May 24th, 1988. Again, recorded in 5150 Studios, labels Warner Brothers. It was produced by Van Halen and Don Landy. And this album is even longer, clocking in at 50 minutes and 9 seconds.
There you go.
There are 10 songs on this one. Mine All Mine, When It's Love, AFU, Naturally Wired, Cabo Wabo, Source of Infection, Feel So Good, Finish What You Started, Black and Blue, Sucker in a Three-Piece, and Apolitical Blues. Of those songs, there were 3 singles released: Black and Blue, When It's Love, and Finish What You Started. There were more, in my opinion, there were a couple more on here that should have been released as singles. But it's not my band, so what do I know?
Well, what are your thoughts about the album?
Well, for me, this is my number 3 Van Hagar era album. I like almost all of it. I think the song Source of the Infection, that shouldn't be on the album. I didn't like that one at all. But other than that, in my opinion, this album is a solid album.
Is there four Van Hagar albums? Or
there are 4 Van Hagar studio albums.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was trying to figure out the number. You said 3rd, so that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, this is my number 3. I've already got mine picked out in my head.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm not going to spring this one on everybody at the last minute like I did the Dave era.
Right.
So Bill.
Yeah. So, well, for me, this is where the wheels started coming off the bus for me. I was able to listen to this album and get all the way through it and listen to it without skipping it too much, because I had it on at work when I was doing some work and stuff like that. So I got through it without too much problem. I listened to it actually 3 or 4 times. I liked the title OU 812. I liked the way they did it. I thought it was pretty cool, and I think that's unique, very unique. I like it when they do that kind of stuff, and I will that title. I'll tell you guys offline something about that title, because I can't really talk about it on the show, but you'll understand.
It's worse than anything that we've ever talked about before.
It is private anyway. Okay. So But for
Of course,
me,
now you
I just
realize this means that I'm going to get a text message. So what did Bill say?
yeah. Well, you can't tell them. So for me, I mean, again, I like the singles. I did like Finish What You Started. I liked When It's Love. Black and Blue's okay. And the rest of it just kind of like it's okay. It's not. It wasn't like if I had the singles off there and never heard the rest of the album again, I would probably be okay with that. Wouldn't bother me too much. But so it's okay. It's not my favorite by any means. So if we're gonna rank the four, I would say that's probably number two-ish, three-ish. I don't know. It's hard to get to 2 and 3. 2 and 3 for me are like tied. It's like
Well, I have a funny feeling we've all got the same one for number 4.
Yeah.
But
I
for
think
different
so, too.
reasons.
Yeah.
All
okay,
right.
So that's my thing.
All right. Number 3 for me. And it's one of those things like I'm going to tell you right now, it's a downward spiral. And if you've read Sammy's book, Red, you'll understand what that means. I mean, and Sammy, that if you don't read, or if you're into biographies and band biographies, by all means, buy that book, read it, or get it from the library, whatever you got to do. But Red is one of the most.
That book
I mean,
is awesome.
I'm
It's a good book.
surprised that anybody in Van Halen would even
Talk to him
or not shoot him in the head, because I mean, there's some stuff he said about Eddie and Alex. I mean, he said stuff about Alex, but Alex straightened himself up, earlier than what Eddie did. But there's some stuff in there that he talked about Eddie that's so disturbing. I mean, some of the stuff that he said, what Eddie Van Halen said, it really hit me hard as far as being like, he's a hero of mine. It's like, he said that, and that really kind of really.
Well, I tell you what, if you want to have a really interesting take on that, I did the audiobook that was read by Sammy.
Wow, I
No,
bet
it wasn't read
which-
by Sammy. It was read by
Yes, it
somebody
was.
else.
No, it was
'Cause
not.
I listened to the audiobook.
Nope, I read it. I listened to it, and it was Sammy. The one I listened to was Sammy, and it said on the thing, audio by Sammy, and it was definitely his voice.
I read it.
I must
No, 'cause
I must have read a pirated copy or listened to a pirated
Something, 'cause
copy.
I bought it because
Oh,
I
wait a
bought
minute.
it
I
because
just
it
told
was
on
that.
myself.
No,
So,
I
that's
just
good.
read the book, and I tell you what, it was just one of those things. I read that book in a weekend real quick, 'cause I mean, I was like, it was just, I couldn't put it
Couldn't
down.
put it down, yeah.
But anyway, but there again, if you've read that book, you know how the Van Hagar thing went. It was a downward spiral, and that's where I'm getting to. But anyway, this album here, I could almost make it through. Mine Oh Mine's a good song. When It's Love, of course, they were all hits. Finish What You Started, never was a big fan of that. I just kind of, I don't know. Cobble Wobble, that's when he started this bullshit. And that's what I think I love Sammy to death, all of his old stuff, Standing Hampton and everything else he did. But I mean, he started this Cobble Wobble bullshit, and everything went from there. And now everything something has to do with Cabo or something in Mexico and tequila, and I'm done. I mean, I know Bill likes tequila, but there again, this album here it's a third. I'm just not. And there again, Eddie's sound, like I said, I bitched it. In 1984 when his sound changed, his tone changed. His tone didn't change much with 5150. This one here, it was bad, and he was starting to use some of those Sternberg kind of guitars. He was using those, and they're thin as shit anyway. They got a thin sound, and I don't know. I just didn't. This one here, I can get through it, but it's hard. It is hard.
I knew you were going to bring up the guitar tone and stuff like that, and I'm falling back on the Eddie intentionally was going in a more pop direction, and that's probably why his tone thinned out some.
And there's nothing wrong with his playing. I mean,
right.
Eddie at his worst sounds better than 9 out of 10 guitar players. But there again, we'll talk about this in later albums. He started rehashing.
Shortly.
He started rehashing a lot of shit. Kind of ran out of new ideas and started running a bunch of old shit. But anyway. So anyway, that's where I'm done with this one. But yeah, it's a third for me.
I think ours are going to match identical.
It's
Dennis.
gonna be a match. Yeah, it's gonna be identical. I'll guarantee it.
Yeah, I think, and as
I think that in general, everybody's 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to match ours.
Yeah, I think so too. Just because of the way it is. I mean, it's.
and I do think, I looking at the track list for the next one, that this was number 3.
Right.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it was 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3.
Yeah,
When I looked at the track list, it
it's
was
3. I guarantee it. When you said that, I was like, he's going to go say 3 because I know what he's going to say for the next one.
Yeah, because it actually has the next one actually has my favorite.
Anyway,
Van
yeah.
Hager song. So.
All right.
Well, now we're up to 1991's For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Wonder what that stands for.
It's another very cool title.
You are a terrible drill, Dennis.
I
thought you were a cat getting
Is that a
stepped
drill?
on.
I thought it was a cat.
Drills and guitars do not match. Eddie, that's one of the biggest mistakes.
Hush.
You don't need a drill.
I'm thinking that Eddie needs to get his drill and he needs to hang out with Jesse James Dupree and see what kind of duet they can come up with.
I don't know, but I seen the guy the other day. The guy I follow on YouTube is funny. He used a fidget spinner as a pick. And it's actually,
That's
it works
funny.
pretty good. It's like it actually works pretty good.
All right, so before we
Right.
get off topic here, For
Good.
Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was released on June 18th, 1991. Again, recorded in 5150 Studios. An even longer album. This one clocks in at 52 minutes. Label, again, Warner Brothers. Produced this time by Andy Johns, a return of Ted Templeton and Van Halen.
Yeah.
Let's see what
That's
what
because-
our track listing is here. That's because what?
They needed some new blood.
Something like that.
Something
like that. All right. So we've got Pound Cake, Judgment Day, Spanked, Run Around, Pleasure Dome, In and Out, Man on a Mission, The Dream is Over, Right Now, 316, which is an instrumental, and Top of the World. And the singles from that were Pound Cake with the B-side Pleasure Dome, which, speaking of the B-sides, on the 5150 album, of those 8 albums that were released, 3 of those were B-sides. So someone's going to correct us on that. So I just corrected us myself.
Well, I'm sure.
You meant the 8 songs.
Something like that. Whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I mean. Okay, Pound Cake and Pleasure Dome. Top of the World was released as a single, and then Right Now and Man on a Mission were A and B sides.
Right.
So this obviously is my number 2 album, and even though Dennis doesn't like the drill, I thought it was kind of neat just because it was something different. But this is
It's a Jackal kind of thing. It's a novelty. It lasted one song. It was interesting.
I believe this actually came out before the Jackal album did.
Right.
I'm thinking the Jackal album came out in '92.
But there again, it's just
someone
one
will
of those
tell
things.
me if I'm wrong. I'm sure.
But it's a novelty, and they only did it one time, so that's good.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
But
So,
even though there were only 3 singles and 2 B-sides released on this is a solid number 2 for me. This is what do you call that? A non-skipper?
Yeah.
You never hit the skip button. That's the way. I could skip through the instrumental though, but I'm not a big fan of instrumentals anyway. But I mean, I won't hear it and immediately try to skip it if it's playing.
Not a big fan. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the singles. We know that. Jackal came out in '92, by the way.
That's what I said.
Lumberjack came out in '92. I know.
All right.
I'm just we've talked about working on making sure we had facts.
There we go.
If we didn't have exact facts, we were
Way
going
to go,
look them up
Bill.
while we were on the show. So I'm
Fact
bailing
you
us
fact-
out of a
you facting mofo.
you facting checker. Mother
mofo.
fact
I was
checker.
going to say mother factor.
There you go.
See, I'm trying to be less cussing now.
Less
Wow.
cussy.
It's a new Dennis.
Well, he says that after he's already dropped the F-bomb at least twice.
Yeah,
But
but he didn't in the last episode. He didn't
I
say it
did.
at all.
I went
I
the
know.
whole
I was
last-
impressed.
How
I
can
didn't
that
talk
be?
because I didn't talk much because I like to hear what.
Are you
What?
freaking kidding me? Dude, you got to watch that damn show. You yapped the entire time. I'm not kidding.
Well.
I am 100% confident. The episode lasted, what, 57 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
57. So we got 22 minutes of
Our
Jamie.
guest.
Yeah, and 35 minutes of Dennis.
Oh, there wasn't that much, was there?
Uh-oh.
Alan,
Challenge,
what do you think,
challenge accepted.
buddy? You start writing that down, pal. I'm like, and Alan and I are just both sitting there the whole time. You look at it, we're just sitting there going,
Oh, I'm
waiting,
sorry.
waiting.
I was excited. It was a night. He was a cool guy. Sorry.
It's not a problem. It's just like, I don't ever talk. You don't freaking listen to yourself talk.
I don't.
All
That's
right,
my-
so
And
now
it's
that
okay,
we've
man. That's why we love you.
now that
All
we've
right.
derailed, let's get this train back on the track.
That's the fun. That's the thing people tell me they like about the episode. So we
absolutely.
other shit. So that's
Let's
the
go.
All right, so this is definitely number 2 for me. Definitely has my favorite Van Hagar song on it, which is Right Now. I think that's a cool song. I think it's a great
was
video.
a badass.
It's incredible. I've actually used that video at work as a motivational thing to think about how we take care of our patients and what they're going through and stuff like that. And I've done that actually in a very large venue with people at work. So that to me is really that's one of the best Van Halen period songs for me. The rest of the album, I like most of it, and I get through most of it. 316, if I don't ever hear another freaking Eddie Van Halen solo, I am perfectly fine with it. It can just stop.
It's a minute and a half, though. It doesn't last.
I don't
It's
care.
kind of cute. It's like a little cute.
That's what she said.
And the drill, really, come on. I know it's a novelty, but it just
He agrees with me. He agrees.
It cheapens.
Does that make you feel vindicated or something?
Yes, it does. It makes me. I'm not the only guy that thinks that.
I'm sure there's
Like,
a lot of
really?
people that don't like
It is
that drill.
It is a novelty, but it cheapens
And it's a
the
good
album.
sound. It's a good song.
Sounds like shit, man. Really?
No, the Pound Cake is a good song without the drill.
Yes. You take
That's what
that
I'm
part-
saying. No, I'm saying it's a good song. You don't need the drill.
Well,
No.
I have to admit, when the first time I saw that video
I
on
was
MTV,
disgusted.
I heard that drill. Zzz, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And then of
Why?
course,
Why?
after you hear it a million times, you get so used to it.
I
I
wasn't.
think the song would sound weird without it now.
No.
I take it. All right, so for me, number 2, good song, favorite song, Van Hagar song, one of my favorite Van Halen songs. Period.
Yeah.
All
right. For me,
Spanked is a great song because I like the
what's
word.
Spanked.
Said Spanked is a great song just because I
Bill
like the
wants-
word.
Bill wants to be spanked. he'll be watching. What's the?
Just keep going, Dennis.
No.
Yeah.
for like the 18th time. So anyway, my number 2, and you know what I think about the drill. Pound Cake is a good song. All of these songs on this album, nothing just jumps out. It's a solid record, don't get me wrong, but unlike the preview or the first album, which was just fucking hit after hit after. Okay, I dropped the F-bomb. Hit after hit after hit. I caught myself. I'm being my own police now.
You're just not policing yourself, though.
The Dream Is Over. I like that song a lot, but I'm like you guys. Right Now is a freaking masterpiece. I mean, to be honest, it's probably the number 1 song on the 4 albums that we're looking at tonight. I think Right Now is, because I don't know if it's just because of the song or the video that they had out on MTV, because it's just so at the time it was so relevant. You know what I'm saying, as far as news and
How
just
about relevant?
Did I say relevant?
You said
Whatever.
relevant, yeah.
I'm retarded, so I'm retarded. So, but anyway, no, it's that song there is probably the best of the Sammy or the Van Hagar songs. So that's why I got to put this in at number 2. The rest of the songs are basically okay. Will I pull it up on an average day and listen to this album? No. Actually, I haven't listened to this album for, God, it's been years. I mean, decades since I heard this album. And there again, that's why I like this show, because I hadn't listened to these albums in a long time. And there again, I put all my hate for these albums on the shelf and said, you know what, I'm going to listen to these things. And I listened to them multiple times, with a clear head and just kind of, give it an opportunity. And but anyway, that's what I got. But
I was trying to figure out the single sales for right now, and
right now it has to be their biggest seller.
Wouldn't you think? But it only went to number 2. It never made it to number 1.
Doesn't matter. I would just think that's okay. Number 2, number 1. I think that's their best. Personally, I think it's their best song. That's just me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but there again, it's been used not only in, on radio and in their own catalog. How many times have you seen that used in commercials?
Oh, it's all over the map,
man. It's been used not just in one commercial; it's been used multiple times. And like you said, Bill, any kind of work-related speaker deal where they're trying to pep people up, that's been used. I don't think they got paid for it, but
I can tell you when I used it, they did not get paid.
You need to send Eddie a check.
I'm not sending Eddie a check. That's not going to happen.
He could probably use a check though.
He probably could use a check, but I am not sending one. Yeah, I can't figure it out.
So we're gonna go to this next album.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Right. Before we get, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Balance was Van Halen's final studio album with one Sammy Hagar. Was released on January 24th, 1995. The song Strung Out was recorded in 1983, and the rest of the album was recorded between May 25th and September 2nd of 94. It was recorded in 5150 Studios and Little Mountain Sound Studios in Vancouver. And this is the longest length album. My brain stopped on me there. This one clocks in at 53 minutes and 7 seconds. Also on the Warner Brothers label, this one was produced by Bruce Fairbairn. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Fairbairn. B-A-I-R-N.
Fairbairn, isn't it?
There's
really?
an R in there, yes.
Yeah,
that threw me off for years.
Baron.
The track listing is The Seventh Seal, Can't Stop Loving You, Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do, Amsterdam, Big Fat Money, Strung Out, which is an instrumental, Not Enough, Aftershock, Doing Time, which is a drum solo, and I'm not even going to try to Balukatherium, instrumental, Take Me Back, Deja Vu, and track number 12 is Feelin'. And if you spent the money on the Japanese bonus album, you got track number 13, Crossing Over. This album had...
I think that's an appropriately last titled song.
But it had 5 singles released from it. The Seventh Seal, Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do, Can't Stop Loving You, Not Enough, and Amsterdam.
And it reached number 1 on the Billboard charts in 95 and sold, it was triple platinum.
You want to know something else about this?
What's that?
Additional personnel on this album were Steve Lukather and the monks of Gyato Tantric University.
What was Steve playing on?
Does it say here? Guitar and background vocals for Not Enough.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. Huh. We didn't know that.
It's funny. That's weird.
This album, obviously, for all of us, is the number 4 Van Hagar album. But I don't think it is as bad as a lot of people think. I like about half the songs on the album. Again, I can do without 1, 2, 3, the 3 instrumentals that are on here. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs on there that I like really well. So even though this is the weakest of the 4 albums, overall, I personally think that it's still a solid album.
Okay. This is what I heard.
What do you hear, Bill?
We could barely hear that, Bill.
That was the sound of Van Halen's career going down the crapper.
That's awesome.
That is
I
funny.
mean, you play
I
that
got
for days. Didn't you play that for days? You playing that
No,
joke?
I just pulled it up. No, because it's just that album to me, beginning to end, it's there's no skip button. You just don't start it.
Okay.
That for me, I just there's nothing on it.
Nothing? All right,
nothing.
Can I go now?
Zero. Goose egg.
Can I go? All right. This album actually
Dennis
started
is
out
so much time.
excited.
I was taking so much time.
No, but seriously, I honestly started out the Seventh Seal. The album started out really good, but this album is the Van Halen spiral, their Van Hagar spiral. I mean, it goes from not too bad on number one to the end was just. I mean, it's a fucking, like you said, it's a swirly. It's like putting somebody in it's like taking a junior high kid, seventh
Sticking
grader,
your head in a toilet and flushing that baby.
Swirling. It's like going, this is Van Halen's Balance album. And you know what? It doesn't. The fucking cover is disturbing. And
I was going to mention
cover,
that too.
The whole thing.
The cover is just about as disturbing as the music on it. I mean, but there again, if you've read Van Halen or if you read Sammy Hagar's Red, you'll understand why this album is so
crappy.
effed up. It's effed up. I mean, it is because Eddie is not in his right mind at this point. He's writing all kinds of crazy shit. They're all over the place. I bet you at this point, probably, Sammy's coming in doing his vocals, and Michael Anthony doing their vocals. They're probably not even talking to each other because whenever this, because this was after that live album, this would have been their last tour, and you know how that last tour ended up. It was a freaking mess. Eddie was dressing up like a samurai, and and just his teeth were falling out. I mean, it was a mess, dude. I mean, it wasn't a mess, and this album shows. I mean, it's just an absolute. Van Hagar album. If you look from their discography, it goes from really good. I mean, the top pinnacle of hits to Balance. Well, guess what? The Balance doesn't balance because it goes this way. It goes to shit. And
sounds like it should be flush.
I don't think we're gonna.
I don't try that again.
Let's do it again. Do it right next to your microphone. Do it again.
Well, I couldn't figure out. I didn't get it on there right, so
I think
I still have it again here. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, I might have it again. Hang on.
Put it right next to your mic.
Sounds like you're pissing.
That's what it sounds like.
It's filling up the bowl.
Put it up next to your microphone, your mouth. There you go.
There you go.
Anyway. There you go. But anyway,
Okay.
I think it's one of these topics that we're not going to sit around and disagree on. I think we all kind of agreed on this one.
Now, before we wrap this up,
Sure.
we should have brought this up during the Dave episode, but since we didn't, I'm going to bring it up during this episode. On the Greatest Hits album that they put out, you've got Humans Being, which is a Sammy Hagar song on the Twister soundtrack.
Right.
Do you like that song?
Humans Being?
Yeah.
Actually, it's not a bad song.
Not a bad song.
Okay. What about the two new recordings with David Lee Roth from that era? Can't Get This Stuff No More and Me Wise Magic.
I like Me Wise Magic. I can't tell you about the other one. I don't remember what the other
I
one
don't remember that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I like
Me Wise Magic. I like it a
that
lot.
song. I think that was a badass song, and it was a shame.
It is a badass
It was a shame that they got together and then somebody. I think somebody took
Somebody
somebody's
pissed in
brown
somebody's Cheerios.
M&Ms. Somebody stole a brown M&M and just ruined the whole thing.
Somebody
And
pissed in
again,
somebody's Cheerios.
they weren't all in the studio together laughing it up.
Oh, I'm
It
sure
was
they
all
weren't.
done. It
No.
was Dave phoned it in and whatever. But Me Wise Magic, which was on Twister, was that on the Twister
No,
soundtrack?
Humans Being was on the Twister.
Oh, that was
soundtrack.
on the. That was on the. That was
Right.
one that was saying. Yeah. Yeah. At that point, just getting any kind of new songs from those guys was kind of cool, and we got. But yeah, I don't know. It was
Yeah.
just such a
Well,
downward spiral Van Halen. It was just sad. It is actually sad.
The greatest hits album that was it was called The Best of Both Worlds Volume 1, I believe. And
Yep.
I actually
That's
won,
that's one of my
actually won
favorites.
that from 103 GBF.
Right.
Cool.
Our good friend
Yeah.
Mike Sanders was the DJ that I won it from.
The Sandman.
The Sandman. All right,
Cool.
does anybody else have any words of
No, and I just wish
suffered
that they
enough.
would. They need to get Van Halen back together, one more tour. They need to get Michael Anthony back, and they need to have David and Sammy and do both versions. Do an early. Dave comes out first. They do this. Sammy comes out the second half. They take an intermission, and they're done. And Michael Anthony's with both of them. And then
I think that'd be awesome, but I don't think that'll ever happen.
it's in the talkings right now. Actually,
Egos.
I would like to
Not
see it
gonna
happen, but I think the ego problem.
I totally agree. It would be awesome, and I would definitely go to that show. I had no desire to go to the David Lee
Sammy's
Roth
got
the
so much
reunion
money
shows.
right now. He sold his tequila company for a god toward
like
fortunes.
$800 million or something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that dude needs no money whatsoever.
Yeah, so he's
You know,
got.
the thing is, this is what I get the other day. I saw a meme where he's like, well, he's what, 71, whatever it is, 70. He's the same age as Bill Clinton, and they showed a picture of Bill Clinton and Sammy Hagar. It's like going, what's the situation here? It's like going, you're not married to Hillary.
It said something about Sammy with tequila and Hillary with Bill,
Yeah.
But this isn't a political podcast, so we
No,
probably
it's
ought
not. It's
go
not a
there.
political fight. But I just thought it was funny because Sammy, for a guy who's been on the road as many years as he has and everything, he still looks great.
He takes pretty good care of himself.
Well, it's because tequila does that. What do you think I look like? What do you think I look so young?
I watch Ted Nugent's
Can't talk, but
Ted Nugent's little live Facebook thing about every day he comes on there. Hell,
Ted's going on
70.
tour right now.
Dude,
Taking Back America. That's his tour.
He's awesome. I love listening to that guy. I can't get enough of the dude.
I don't think I just don't know if I could go to a show and listen to him rant for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm not paying for $100 for a ticket to hear him talk political bullshit.
I wouldn't pay
for half the
$25
fucking
for
show.
And I don't want him to hear. I don't want to hear him play Fred Bear either. I want him to hear
War of the Great White
Wayne
Buffalo.
Dixie.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Nope.
but
Anyway,
no, I wanna hear,
All right,
this
we are digressing
concludes-
fast.
This concludes the Van Hagar episode. That was lovely.
that was great, wasn't it?
That was harsh.
That was awesome.
All right, thanks for sticking around, even though Dennis can't stop saying the F word.
I said it.
You said it like 4 or 5 times.
All right, 5.
But
One
anyway,
handful.
visit us on agesofrock.com, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Ear Peeler, all of that good shit. Until next week, peace out, folks. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.